Hello everyone, my name is Hiroyuki Hamada. This is a Composite Materials lecture course. And today I will talk about the composite from the material science textbook. And then composite materials are used in many industrial fields, aircraft, car, building, sports goods, housing, and so on. When we look at the composite materials and when we try to understand the composite materials, there are many points of view. For example, from the application, industrial fields such as aeronautics, automotive engineering, architecture, civil engineering, and so on. Instead, more basic academic fields from the solid mechanics, electrical engineering, thermodynamics, and so on. My standing point is material science. Material science is one of the basic academic fields that is the same level of the physics, chemistry, biology, geology, and mathematics. So, material science is one of the basic natural science. When I stayed in Cambridge for 1 year as a visiting scientist, I was one of the members of the Department of Material Science. In the Cambridge University, there is a very big two faculty. One is the natural science, one is engineering. Material science belongs to the faculty of natural science. So that is not the engineering field. So the English people or Cambridge people understand the natural material science is the natural science. So I think the material science is a basic academic field. Today, I bring a material science textbook. This is a material science textbook, so the very thick one. So the title is Material Science and Engineering and Introduction from the Wiley published company. So in my today's lecture, I will use this book and I will introduce the composite material from this book. Once again, this is a name of the material science textbook, Material Science and Engineering. Subtitle is an introduction. So we can understand that this book is written for the beginners in the material science. The authors come from the Utah and Iowa in USA. Or shall we look at the table of the contents? This is the first chapter, and first chapter is introduction. I will explain this chapter in detail later. Important keywords were processing, structure, properties, performance, and their correlations. Once again, processing, structure, properties, and performance. So this is the basic attitude of the material science. This is the second chapter. The second chapter is atomic structure and interatomic bonding. This is a very, very microscopic view of the materials. And then this is the third chapter. This is the structure of crystalline solids. In this chapter, crystal is explained. That is larger than the atomic in the previous chapter. Chapter 4, imperfection in the solids. This is a more large scale, macroscopic view, the crystal. And then chapter 5 is diffusion. Diffusion is a very basic phenomenon in the case of the water diffusing into the solid soil or something like that. And in this case, in the material science case, diffusion into the another material, one material diffuse into the another material. That is the diffusion phenomenon. The chapter 6. This is the material properties of metal. So of course, properties is very important. So the mechanical properties of the metal. Here, metal, this word is appeared firstly. So from the chapter 2 to this chapter 6, metal materials are explained. And then this is the chapter 7, dislocation and strength in the mechanism are described. Of course, they are also related to the metal materials. This is chapter 8. Chapter 8 is failure. How to fail the material. So the fail material, material means in this case metal. And chapter 9 is a phase diagram. Metal shows many different phases. Phase can be regarded as a different material in the case of the metal. And then chapter 10, title is phase transformation. How to change these different phases. That means metal material changes. That is transformation. But this chapter is also the metal material. And then chapter 11, application and processing of metal alloys. Metal alloy is two different materials are mixed together. So here we can understand the application of the metal, how to make materials, how to make products from the metal, processing the metal alloys can be described in this chapter. And the next is chapter 12. Here, we can see the keyword of the ceramic. Title is structure and properties of the ceramics. So we can see the different material from the metal firstly. The chapter 12, from the chapter 2 to chapter 11, metal materials are described. And chapter 12, ceramic. Metal is finished, and next is ceramic. Metal, and next is ceramic. And the next chapter, chapter 13, application and processing ceramics are explained. Chapter 12 is structure and properties. So important keywords in material science: structure, properties, processing, application. Application includes the performance. So structure, properties, processing, performance, correlation are basic material science attitude. And then, shall we look at the chapter 14, polymer. So this is chapter 14. So the chapter 12 and 13, ceramic materials are finished. Only 2 chapters, ceramics are finished. And then next is polymer, polymer structure. materials moved from the ceramic to polymer. And the metal use 10 chapters. Ceramic used 2 chapters. Big difference between them, metal and ceramics. And chapter 15 is characteristics, application, and processing of polymers. Metal, ceramic, and polymers. These are materials. However, my lecture is related to the composite materials. Until chapter 15, there is no composite. Composite materials are not described yet. And then, chapter 16, we can see the composite. Title is composite, just composite. We can meet the composite in this textbook first time, but this is strange. As I mentioned before, the basic concept and keywords are structure, performance, processing, and application. There are no words in this title, only composite. And then, shall we look at the next chapter? Chapter 17. Chapter 17 is corrosion and degradation of materials, not composite material, of material. These words, corrosion and degradation, is related to the long-term usage of the materials. So, of course, that is a very important point. But in this chapter, not only metal, but also ceramic, polymer, and composite are described together. All the materials are described in about the corrosion and degradation. And chapter 18 is electrical properties, materials, all of the materials. Chapter 19 is thermal properties. Corrosion, electrical, thermal, these are the one of the category of the performance of the materials. And then what is the next? Next is chapter 20, that is magnetic properties. And then 21 is optical properties, the materials. And 22, this is the final chapter of this textbook, economics, environmental, and societal issues in the materials science and engineering. Economic is a very important issue. Environment is also a very important issue. Material use in our society. So social issues are also very important. This book, Material Science and Engineering, has a total 22 chapters. And total pages 939 pages. Very big book. That means material science has a very wide aspects, including the metal, ceramic, polymer, and composites.